All right. Good morning, good evening, good night. It's a perfect Thursday. It is NFT Live. We're bringing you everything from around the industry. I got my three stripes on. We are ready to go in hard on some COGs and kind of a recap there. I've got my boy Ronin here. Ronin, what's up, man?
Not much, man. Not much. It's been a pretty exciting week as far as Wax goes and COGS. It was a pretty good launch, man. I really enjoyed it. I know we didn't have so much content to provide the viewers who joined us on Tuesday, but I think we had a really good time. So
Dude,
that's
that
what's important.
that stream was amazing, man. That
Dude,
stream
it
was
was. It was fun.
Yeah, it was. It was. We have a bunch of lads in the chat that are getting here early. We've got some COGS info to get to you guys some early in the episode. So glad you lads are showing up. Everyone that's kind of like hopping along here. It looks like CryptoPhasia. I've got Scott. I've got Kieran. I've got Brandon. I've got Dimitri. All the lads in here, man. We appreciate your support. Again, we are covering COGS. What are some other things? Dapper Labs. We had an episode with them recently. Doctor Who, Neon District, Biff, and Paris Hilton. I know that's going to get kind of weird. And then we got some updates from Blankos. But before we start this episode, guys, Ronan just came off like an hour panel with the BGA. I want to hear all about this stuff. That was awesome to see you on there, man.
Yeah, man, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Yeah, that was my first like panel appearance, so I was a little nervous this morning, but like I feel like I've done so much like community involvement this week
Mm-hmm.
that that like it just kind of ended up like being cool. I was on there with Sebastian, from the Sandbox, as well as Jihaz from Axie, and then a guy named Metamic, who actually Meta is how I got into the panel. So he interviewed me. He does like research stuff for companies. So right now he said he's working with a company that's looking at the NFT space, and he wanted to interview me and ask some questions. So he's been doing like data driven, research. So excuse me. So yeah, man, it was a really good conversation. We talked mainly, it was like kind of focused on like just NFTs and like their ability to be an investment, and kind of like everybody's own like take on like where the space is at, where the space is going, where we personally our eyes are looking, what projects we're interested in, and where we're putting our money. So
Yeah, I mean, there's a ton to get to. A ton of lads were in the COGS chat. Obviously, you're heading up to some of this community efforts over there, and a ton of lads were in the POGs or COGS sale there. I myself was in the COGS sale. We're gonna get you some information from that. What was your favorite kind of tidbit of information? I know you got some information. I know you're getting an access to Alpha Sandbox, which for the life of me, I'm gonna have to like go to Sebastian's house to get an alpha. I'm sure he'll love that. But what was your
yeah,
favorite part?
that was definitely really cool. I think my favorite part was just kind of hearing what like him and Jihaz specifically had to say about like every topic, right? Because like they're both obviously like really dialed in on what's going on. And it was interesting to hear what their take, like, for me being a user, and coming from the user space, it was all about the fact that like, the experience as far as like Ethereum and gas was like a thing that I brought up. And it was interesting because both of them, and rightfully so, they have projects running on Ethereum, so they're going to be very, you know what I mean. But Jihad's quoted the fact that they've actually had their best month ever in Axie, despite the gas fees, which is awesome. But I do think that's a rare situation. I don't think that every NFT project that's on Ethereum really experienced the same thing. And it was actually the reason it came up is because they used the data chart to show that the prices or how much money was being spent on collectibles NFTs on the Ethereum chain over the past like 6 months, and there was a huge drop the last 3 weeks. So so it was interesting to see. And basically their take was on it, like if you have a strong enough user experience, like people are okay paying that money. And I was like, yeah, but like it's got to be worth that money. Like it's not, and it's realistically, it's not worth me selling my NFTs right now, because even if I bought one for like $25 and I can sell it for 75, like it costs 25 to transfer it. And that's, like, so I'm, like you're taking away a quarter of its value in gas.
Yeah, 100%. I think Sebastian probably has less of a concern because the things that are being exchanged on Sandbox are just like way more valuable. You see that
not only that, but Sandbox specifically, and I think Axie does this pretty decently well. And of course they have their sidechain, but Sandbox specifically, and which I thought was like super smart. He said that they're doing literally everything that they could possibly do off chain So they're not having to deal with those transactions, like the constant transactions. A lot of the experiences right now do require you to having a transaction for like everything, right? So like Zed, like if you want to rate, run your horse, there's 2 transaction fees you have to pay before you can even enter, right? And then you got to pay so they were talking about, the need to try to take some of these experiences, right? Like the race doesn't necessarily need to be run on the chain, right? So let that race run off the chain, so you're not having to pay the transaction fees to move the NFTs and stuff like that. So
yeah, it'll be interesting to see the decentralization maxis, because you have that in Ethereum, right? Like they're creating games that don't need to be tied to a centralized provider, and you hear that in some of these games. It's like, well, good luck, because it's pretty much a non-starter if you have a product that needs all these gas fees. So amazing point. Amazing probably panel that you were on, man. That was awesome. I wish I could have gotten to it. We were interviewing Kava Labs right at the same time, but I'm gonna go back and watch the entire episode post this episode, actually. So we got a lot of stuff to get to, guys. You see some alpha that I'm about to hit you guys with. We're gonna COGS recap. Hopefully everybody kind of got in and got their packs. I know some of the recap we're about to touch on is the fact that you couldn't open your packs initially. We had a hell of an episode, amazing episode. The community was awesome that entire time. But we have Crypto Slam here, which Ronin got this to me last night. So I want you to break down Crypto Slam for me, and I'll kind of go through.
Crypto Slam is cool. The dude who does Crypto Slam is very active in the Telegram. So like if you guys have any feedback or like have things that you would like to see, definitely let them know. Like right now, the biggest issue for collectors themselves is like how massive this set is, right? So sites like Crypto Slam, sites like Atomic Hub, they really are scrambling right now to deal with like how to make the user experience better. Which actually I feel like I should be reaching out to Jonah over at Atomic Hubs and being like, let's collaborate for a couple hours, and because I think really what it comes down to is like you've got so many cogs, like you need a better way of being able to look at what you have and set, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So, but anyway, so what Crypto Slam does specifically, and what I think it does really well, and which really cool and it's almost hypnotizing in a way, is it's got 3 live feeds on the main page. So you pull it up, all the way on the left, you're going to see the live sales feed. So literally, as things are being sold, you're seeing them. In the middle, you're going to see the things that are being listed. So you're going to see everything that people are posting for sale. And then the final column all the way to the right is going to be things that are being minted, which is really cool. So I was watching last night and actually got to see a 1 of 1 get minted last night. So people are still pulling them. There's still cogs that haven't even been minted yet. So there's still the ability to crack these packs. And I think that's part of what they did really well, is they gave their IP something that the others lacked up until BCH, which is like they gave it like legs, right? Like they gave the community reason to be there. Which if we've got kind of the lads community here and we're still kind of a little personal, we can talk about like some cool stuff that they're getting to do, right? Like, so I've got some cool information.
Go ahead, man. Drop it.
And I dropped that on you this morning and said, you want to let the lads know to jump in and include a $sign. Okay. So why? Because they have built in an Easter egg hunt, and that Easter egg hunt is literally it's like if anyone has taken place with ARGs, it is there's a trailhead, so there's a place where we're going to start the hunt, and then it's going to lead to a prize, and that prize is monetary, and that's the gist of what, as far as the prize is concerned, like what it could be, like that's all they've said. And they did also say that you are going to need to have these cogs that have the clues and stuff in your inventory to be able to claim the final prize. Right? So you're actually going to have these Easter eggs in your wallet to be able to claim the prize at the end. That's pretty big if you ask me. I don't think anybody's done a cash prize, and I don't think anybody's done an in-game Easter egg hunt with the NFTs yet like this. I do know that like Neon District likes to do stuff like that, like they do the ARG type stuff, which is really fun. Yeah. I don't think anybody's done it on Wax, so I think it's like really cool that they kind of jumped in. So the big hint that we have right now is the first clue is in the staff set. And then they also said that it's staring us in the face. So a lot of the speculation, if you want to type in and search for Benny and pull up the Benny cog. You can do that either here, or you might be able to do it on Atomic Hub if you just click over on that tab. But the Benny cog has Benny holding in a magnifying glass, and in the reflection is the cog slammer, right? But the cog that he's looking at on the table is the actual cog itself. So there's two, there's variants. You've got cogs and then you've got slammers. So we know that there it is right there, the foil. But you probably want a not foil version so you can see the image clearer. Yeah, so we know that this is where it's at. We also know that there's some other places that there are definitely clues. The Taiwan cog has some clues in it. There's a clock. We've also recognized that there's clocks in a couple of them that read different times, starting at 9 a.m. and then a 9:05, and I think we found a 9:10. The time traveler cog has the date that Hitler was killed on it. And 9:05 is when he is supposedly had passed. So there's an Easter egg hunt here, and we are cracking the code over on the Discord. We're sharing everything we know. So if you guys are like into that type of like, hunt, and come join us. Like, we're sharing all types of information. There's some information in Satoshi's face on the Satoshi Slammer, which they told us was if we want. They kind of helped us a little with that one. That is it's the Genesis code for the Bitcoin, the first code.
Yeah.
So lots of like stuff. There also is that slammer on the second row that you got pulled up is transparent. It also seems to have like a button in the middle. So we're curious if applying that over another one, so you can actually download the PNG and it makes it transparent.
It looks like there's like an RFox one that would fit onto the uncommon stat, like the Joes or whatever you have. It looks like they fit together. Right.
Joe's the cog that has that. Yep, I'm going to drop that link for you guys in chat if you want to join us. It's called the Easter egg channel.
Yeah. So let me get to some of the comments here. Dimitri's talking about the 3 stripes. Kieran's talking about got to check how my COGS investment is going, which I'll get to here in a second. They want to hear the alpha. Well, Ronin's dropping you the alpha right now, man. The COGS Crypto Slam is probably what I'll use on every sale going forward. I know it's a super convoluted process on like a secondary marketplace like collectibles that I'm up right now. Basically, you have to look at the sales history while you're trying to sell them at the same time. If you can have 2 screens and you set up Crypto Slam, you see a live feed of what's being sold. It's such a better experience from like a flipper's mentality. Not saying that I'm not keeping some. So as far as like your experience, now that we've got the Easter egg out of the way, and I do do drop that in the channel because I do want to head over there. As far as like the sale experience, we know that there were some issues like every single wax sale. There's no wax sale without some kind of hiccup, right? At least
it's part of it, man.
Yeah. So what was your experience that day of actually opening the card? Well, like what cards or what cogs did you end up getting?
So that day, obviously, I hopped off. I did like my work stuff, and then we got word about 15 minutes before they got it actually up and running. They went silent for about 2 hours, and I will say that look. Their team is very near and dear to my heart. Like, I know these guys, like I've started to meet them. Like, they've got a lot of stuff that I really care about. Like, but I do think that they dropped the ball in that you can't be like upfront and like be like jumping on streams and like, being like communicative and then just go silent. So I think that it would have been helpful if they would have just came back and said, look, realistically, like this problem that we're having, we can't figure it out. So we do not have a time frame. However, we'll give you a 30-minute heads up or a 60-minute heads up. That way the community can disseminate that info once we're ready. And I think they did give a heads up, but it was like 15 minutes or 20 minutes. It was on Telegram, and then it took like another 10 minutes before it got shared to like other places. So I don't even know if they updated the Twitter to let people know until after it was live, which may have been purposeful because as soon as it did go live, it did crash for like the first like 2 or 3 minutes. So
I have to give in that situation, that event. I have to give a shout out to Kieran because Kieran was on top of it. Kieran's one of our lads.
Yes.
Kieran had like the setup where he was watching the DNS. He was watching like all this stuff to make sure that we knew exactly what was happening because the site was obviously down. I think he noticed, but also it was being pushed in the Telegram group that the URL changed, the host,
Yep.
the hosting provider might have changed and all this. So definitely a ton of issues, but shout out 100% to Kieran. Yeah.
100%. I think he actually broke the news technically. So if you're not like, if you're not involved in the lads community, like you definitely should be, because we actually knew probably, I mean, it wasn't super long, but it was like a good 2 or 3 minutes before like the team themselves posted to Telegram, and Kieran was like, it looks like they're going to be able to go live any minute. And he was like, no, it looked like they're legit ready. And then like 3 minutes later. So that was a huge benefit of being in the lads Telegram group.
Yeah, from like a COGS recap standpoint, just from like a flipper standpoint, because again, I kind of fall in the middle. I'm gonna definitely keep a good amount of these COGS, but some of them I'm trying to flip and make keep them. Yeah, 100%. And I can't wait for that gamification model to kind of start out. But as we talked about prior to the actual sale, I was very interested in the fact that the supply was not capped. There were so many different varieties that I wondered what would happen when it hit the market and when secondary market went live. There was some like space in between. Having been a part of the sales histories on the last couple sales, there was a window, and I don't know like what that was. It could just be a time window as far as like time zone windows. But there was like a 1 to 2 hour window where the COGs weren't selling as fast as the other ones, and I was like, like what happens here?
But slow down.
Yeah, but then it just never picked up for me. From like from my sales standpoint, just that I had mint ones and things like that. But then it came through, and you can kind of see I have my sales like pulled up by, and this is filtered by mint number, I believe, so that my lowest mints were pulled up here. Some mints, people will tell me that I needed to sell them for more. This Thailand one should have been sold for more.
$5.
Yeah, that one, that was like, okay, actually it's starting to pick up, so I need to start putting these a little bit higher. Again, like there are some people that will say you need to keep these mint ones for a month or two. You probably could have sold each one for a little bit more. Again, my situation is I'm going to keep a good amount of these, but if I can get my investment, then I can participate in more sales. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. Even myself, man, like I've got a couple that I'm okay. I'm like, I need to cover my investment, right? And then I need to have a little extra so I can buy a couple more packs, because there's still some stuff that I cracked 14 megas or starter packs. Okay, 14 starter packs.
Dang.
I did not hit an 8-ball. I did not hit a Satoshi, and I think I've only got like a handful of rares, ultra rares. I mean, so like I'm, and the team is even, they're like, because I've cracked a bunch of them live, and like they're like, oh man, that's tough.
Yeah, to crack that many packs and not get like the 8-balls look amazing.
I just want
like
the 8-ball, man. They know like the 8-ball. That was the first thing I brought up, was the 8-ball.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to look at all listings and see what the 8-balls. Yeah, the 8-balls have these really cool mechanics, or not mechanics, but like really cool artistry where it's like super aesthetically pleasing. It's got like the saw on it, so it's got like what's the is there a signature in there, or what is that little? I don't think that's a signature. It might look like that from. Oh, it's just like a Okay, got it. Yeah, interesting, man. Yeah,
he said they got a Satoshi Slammer on the only pack that they opened. Congratulations,
boom,
buddy! Wow.
Yeah. So these marketplaces are still going live. One thing I will say, and I think I might do that after the stream, the crypto slam that I'll pull up here, it shows exactly what market is actually like these sales are going on. And now, as you can see, the COGs are on the left side. This looks way better when it's full screen. I know I have to move it over for the stream, but it looks like most of these are being sold on Atomic Market. So it might even make sense, to move your cards that you're selling on collectibles. And I'm, just saying, free market, like
there's a lot more eyes on Atomic Hub right now. Yep. 100%.
So yeah.
Yeah, so that's smart. I haven't even done that. I didn't even think about that. That's super smart. Like there's so many more eyes there. You might as well just move. If you got stuff on some of the other sides, maybe see if they do better. Because I've definitely like just overall, and it's cool because if you want, you can actually get rid of the COGs at the end of it, and you can see all wax sales. So across all of the markets. So you can also get a really good idea of like what markets are currently seeing the most like eyeballs, or where there's a whale sitting there picking up every, wade in the damn, that's available. So that's really fun too, because you'll see people and they'll buy like 5, 6, 7 of the same exact one.
So you can kind of see like what's being bought. That's one thing I would love to see, because it looked like initially that like one series.
See, like somebody just bought a bunch of blockchains.
Oh, I see that. Yeah. So it looked like initially that a lot of the countries were like going out. It might have just been in that window. Maybe one person was like looking, but I just noticed all my countries were selling more than my others. So then I started to mark up the countries a little bit
Countries.
more. So,
And the market moves that way.
oh, we're having a lot of live mints going on right now. Jeez.
Yeah, somebody's cracking packs.
Good
Kieran
Lord.
said that he's got his his mint one set up at a nice, high enough wax number that he's not going to be mad if they sell.
Yeah.
That's a good strategy. I like that one. He also says he can check back after a few months to adjust the prices. Yeah, that's really good. If you don't really have to worry about it, you know what I mean? Like whatever. I think if you're the type of person like me, like I like to get my investment back, you know, within the first week of like putting the investment.
Yep.
I'm like, I'll probably go heavy tonight and like take advantage of like the information now that's disseminating. Like if you guys have some of these ones that we're saying are part of the Easter egg hunt, they're gonna, once like that gets into Twitter, once that breaks into the Discord, you know, feeds and groups and all that stuff, like those are gonna start becoming more worth more valuable.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see as this sale process goes on and more sales. As more features get brought, like Crypto Slam, it's going to be so much easier because you're right. Like I got into a situation where I might have sold one of these Shatner cars, and I'm looking at them now, where they eventually were more expensive because like after a certain day or two, people started to be like, oh, there's actually like a moon in the back of this hologram. And it was like, oh, those are super valuable. Well, I already sold it in the first 24 hours. I didn't know that. So that definitely there's some negatives.
Yeah, or the fact that like, what was it, like 2 or 3 days later, like it was like, what is going on with this one with the car? And then people are like, oh, it's because it's the only one that has his captain uniform. And that takes a couple days for people to realize those things, right? Because like somebody goes, oh, he's got his captain's uniform, and then they're like, wait a minute. You know, so it's cool to see like the discovery from the community. I will say, as far as like the Easter egg hunt thing is concerned, they did tell us that they're kind of on like a time frame with that.
Yeah.
So they would really appreciate if like the community like found like these things themselves. But like if they don't, then we'll start to see like more like, you know, breadcrumbs, and they'll start to kind of put out more information. They didn't even want to tell us like what set like to it, like you could find like the first like clue, right?
Yeah.
But then eventually, like he was like, I think I'll just go ahead and say something. So like, and he didn't actually say it. He told us he ran like a contest in the chat, and he was like, where's the first clue? Like what set is it in? And then he was like, okay, we got the winner. What's your address? And he said the dude's name. So he didn't even say it. Like we had to go and look, and everybody's like, oh, it's the staff set. And then people started instantly looking. So it's actually been kind of fun. It's fun to be part of like these community events.
Yeah, definitely. We'll see. I mean, what is an upcoming wax sale that we don't know about yet? Other than possibly other GPKs, other than other COGs, do we know any other sales? Because right now where we are in the industry, there is like a month period, it seems like, between sales, maybe 2 weeks. You know, we had the NBA Top Shot a little while ago. Now we have, you know, what's the next wax that we're looking at, or next sale?
I saw an image that hinted, although I've not seen literally anything else, because they had the properties like on there in like almost a timeline, and they had BCH, and then they had COGs, and then they had Street Fighter.
Oh, Street Fighter. Okay.
So I don't know what the context of that is going to be. Like, I don't know if they're going to launch, like if they're actually going to launch the Street Fighter stuff, or if we're going to see maybe like limited, like, right. So like some of these people are doing like limited. So maybe we see like a Street Fighter limited edition COG or BCH hero, or something like that, just to like drum up interest. But it definitely gave that feel that the next drop was going to be Street Fighter in some way, shape, or form.
It'll be interesting to see where they go with Dapper as well, or where Dapper goes with the likes of like Dr. Seuss. I know they already dropped the announcement, so when is that coming? It looks like we have some big news, man, in the chat here. Kieran says Atomic Hub and Collectibles share the order books.
So you can use either site, and your card will be available for sale on both. That's awesome. I was not aware of that. Thank you, Kieran.
Yeah, look, we're all sharing alpha. Kieran's definitely sharing his fair share here of good information. So the last thing I'll just kind of, as we like to say, wrap a bow on this stuff. There are some in here that I wish probably I set at a higher price. I think this Executioner Rare Cyberpunk is like, that like looks really cool to me.
Wait,
and that's
hold
what
on.
I wished.
You have a Executioner?
No, I sold a rare one for like $13, and it's just like, look, you know, like, yeah.
So we need to, like, have you determined? Okay, I know that you're like, oh, I know where your head's at. You're like, these are kind of cool, but I don't really know if I want to like keep them for myself, right? But like, if you decide to, you need to decide on what you're going to collect, right? Like that's like where like because there's so much opportunity. Like, what are you going to do? So for chat, this is what I'm leading to. Sorry, buddy. For chat, I'm collecting executioner, and I'm doing what's called a rainbow in the collector's world, which basically means I want one of every color that he's got available. So there's 24 different executioners that are rare. I'm not trying to get the foils because the foils are way too expensive. But if you have a rare executioner, get at me.
Okay.
Because I'd love to pick that up.
And I wish I had that information prior to whoever bought this for $13. Good job, guys. You guys pretty much robbed me at that point. But I do have some in here. So just to be transparent here, I bought 3. What were the bigger packs called? Starters, or were those?
Starters and boosters.
Okay, so I bought 3 starters. I bought 1 booster. Opened the packs right away. Was able to get low mints. And I think based on my math here, and I really did like this ultra rare 8-bit. Like, it was really cool. But I was like, hey, listen, I'm setting this for 2,500 wax. If somebody wants to buy it, buy it. And someone ended up buying it for 2,500 wax. So that really kind of really cemented my success with this actual sale, at least from a personal standpoint. The rest have gone for somewhere between $20, $10, and this is pretty much par for the course. So even with that, supply cap or lack of a supply cap, this is the another 3 to 4x making on NFTs, man. It's just it's here, and honestly, I'm probably gonna start upping the amount of packs I buy early, because if I'm seeing 3 to 4x, there's no reason I should only be capped out. I've only spent about $75 a sale. What's been your experience as far as kind of returns with Shatner and GPKs?
Yeah, man. I've so obviously I think GPK was probably my biggest. TK did pretty well. I doubled between 2 and 3 times that one.
Nice.
I did not get into BCH. Shatner was I think I just barely broke even because Shatner, right after Shatner went live, there was a lot of questions there. There was so much so many packs hit the market that it just tanked the sale. So I kind of let mine go for $1 profit each, and so I didn't do well there either. And I have not hit the market with what I've got currently in COGs, but I was looking at last night, like I said, and I think that I'll triple or quadruple my investment minimum. Yeah, I think just between maybe 5 or 6, because I also opened a couple of megas right at the beginning. So we didn't really talk about that, the issue that I ran into. So I got hit by what I would like to call the Q bug.
Yep, that was my Shatner bug there. Go ahead.
I opened my packs, right? I didn't open all of them. I opened, I think 3 starters, 6 starters. Only 3 of the starters actually opened. I opened 6 starters, 6 boosters. Only 3 of each actually opened. So half of what I thought I opened right when they went live didn't. And I literally had to get up, go take care of my kids, go run, do my stuff. It was 10:30 that night, 8 hours later, when I sat down on my computer. And the only reason I did was because they did another special live that night, right? So I hop on, I'm listening, and Benny says, look, there was this issue. If you go in right now and you have this black bar at the top, it's going to tell you you have unclaimed COGs. And I was like, oh, well, that would kind of suck, and I log in and I was like, oh, I've got one. And then I click it and it unpacks a mega. And I'm like, oh shit. And then I click it again and again. And I'm like, oh no. And then I started looking, and the mint numbers were all through the roof. Yeah. And I'm like, dude, I watched myself open I don't know, probably 15 number 1 mints that I actually don't own. And that hurts. That hurts a lot. You know what I mean? So I definitely feel you now on that.
This was documented live on the Shatner sale, guys. Yeah. If you want to go back to Shatner.
So you know what that is? Now that I've gotten some information, it's a bug in the actual contract. So the actual contract itself has a bug in it. And what they've done is to fix the bug, they've patched it the day that it breaks. And so now what they've got is they've literally got band-aids on top of band-aids in this contract. And so it seems like they really should probably start from the foundation and rebuild it, because obviously Atomic Hub has a lot of potential, and what a lot of people like the Atomic Asset contract, but it's definitely got some bugs that they need to work out.
Yeah. Overall, I'd say another successful sale on Wax, man. It is. And I tweeted out this the other night, and I really do feel like maybe a cycle from now, so maybe 2 years from now, the craze that you see in DeFi is going to be carried out. I mean, we already kind of see it, but these collectibles, man, there's so much more available to the public to buy, sell, trade, flip. I do really feel like there's going to be a DeFi level craze with these NFTs. You could kind of claim not by ratio, not by scale. Obviously, like DeFi is doing way more in scale, but by ratio, you see a ton of sellouts. You see all this stuff surround. You see 4x, 5x, 6. People are 10xing sometimes. It's like this is going to be a craze in 2 to 3 years with the general public. The infrastructure will be built out, maybe on Wax, maybe on Dapper, who knows, maybe on something we don't know at all. But people are going to come in here, they want to buy the packs, they're going to try and flip them just like we're doing now, and that is way more accessible than trying to flip something like a DeFi token where you got to do all of these different things. It's crazy, man.
Yep, exactly. And so to Kieran's point in chat, that's exactly what it is. It's a bug in the contract, and you fix it by building it into the UI. So when you click the UI, it should push through the second contract call correctly. But yeah, so that's what happened. To address your other question, which is you need some alpha in regards to your strategy for the first editions. This is coming straight from Benny, right? Who's the CEO of Red Fox. In his opinion, if you have first editions, you should hold all of them. But he understands that like you also want to play and you want to be able to sell some and buy some and that kind of thing. Low mints, he said you're absolutely going to want to keep. And then something that I didn't go over that may be new news for some of you guys, and one of this is definitely new news, is that the ultras are going to have better what do you call them, perks. They're going to have better perks. They're going to be tournaments that are only, you're going to have an ultra slammer to be able to get in. There's going to be it'll waive your fee on some things. There's going to be airdrops that are going to be specifically for ultra rare holders, which means you will have to have either the 8-ball or the Satoshi. Those are the only two items that you are the ultra rare slammers. So there's a huge difference, right, when you're talking about rarity and what you're going to get. So the lower mints, 1, 2, 3, he says don't do anything with them because he fully believes in the product. And he thinks that in 12 months time, you're going to see 100x like your investment. And then if you've got any of the ultra rares, like try to hold as much as you can there, play, have fun. What my personal strategy is, I'm going to sell all the foils that like don't mean anything to me because the foils are hot and people are willing to pay for the premium on foils. So I'll probably sell like 1 or 2 of my number ones that aren't really that pretty, and then I'm going to sell a shit ton of foils, and that should pay for like everything else.
Yeah, it looks like there's some information here on some upcoming wax sales, but as far as the foils, I definitely appreciate
also,
those.
Staking. They're going to be bringing staking eventually. There will be a play to earn mechanic where you can stake your ultra rares and you'll get a higher percentage back. And then they do have plans to give kickback to the community in ways. So they got a lot of good stuff. Yep.
Yeah, definitely, and that will be the first one we've seen on Wax that has like additional features. So definitely keep an eye out for COGs. I mean, I think, did you drop the link to Discord yet?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. All right.
Yep,
so
for sure.
All right, so you guys can do that. You guys can go into their Discord, kind of interact with what's going on with COGs, man. Can't wait to see what else they drop out. So are they planning to launch any other COGs ever? I know like there was this whole they are.
Yep. So so what I was trying to like clarify, and if anybody, I do have Ronin the Collector. I have my own YouTube channel, and I did like a really in-depth video. It's like 15, 16 minutes long, I think, and it's going to go through some of that back end stuff. But yeah, so their plan is like, this is the only set that's ever going to be like this. Moving forward, because Ark Legger, who the H1Z1 lead dev, he very much has like, he sees this being just like any other storefront in a marketplace. So they'll have the next set that comes out when the game launches is when it's going to hit. It'll be available for like the first 6 weeks that the game's available, right? So imagine what those numbers are going to look like compared to first edition, right? So that's where like this first edition is like solid, man. Like it really is like, and yeah, so they're bringing that. They're also bringing partnerships. They've already got partnerships with games in the works where these tokens from the first edition are going to unlock some seriously nice rewards across different platforms and different partnerships and IPs.
Yeah, this is going to be something to follow on 100%. So yeah, 100% want to continue kind of Yeah, we're looking. I'm looking at the chat now, and I'm just
Yeah.
they're going through a couple of their different pack sales. Yeah, I mean this has been a successful sale. I mean we've touched at this at length, guys. We had a 3-hour stream the other day. That was certainly an amazing time.
Yeah.
And now we've recapped kind of what the sale looked like from our perspectives. Definitely interesting to keep tabs on going forward. There's definitely there's a ton of things that happen post sale, obviously. Like the market, regardless of even outside of Benny's control, some things are going to be more valuable than others. That's just the way this is. Maybe some are, some aren't. So super interesting. Hopefully you guys got a lot of information there. Was there anything you wanted to cap off COGs with before we move on?
No, I just think that the guys are doing like a lot of really cool stuff. I think that you guys should keep an eye on the Discord. I think you should keep an eye on their socials. They're going to be dropping hints, obviously, for the Easter egg thing, but they're also going to be giving us more information as the weeks go on. They are doing 9 a.m. Eastern every day, Friday, Saturday, Sundays. They still continue to plan to do this. They're doing live chats in their Discord, so you guys can come in, ask any questions that you have. Benny is like, he will answer your question. So just even if it's like super blunt. I mean, he had a couple of people be blunt about the launch.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously that, and then to Gunny Smith, if you think that you bought a starter pack and you ended up with a booster, man, just it's all in the chain, right? So like go into your wallet, go all the way to where you think that transaction took place, and double check that, man. And if it really is something, then somebody needs to know about that.
Yeah, he did a great job of coming in. He did a great job coming into the channel too. He was awesome. Yeah. Like that was super cool to have him pop in.
Yeah, man. The fact that he came and joined us, and he loves all the community people. And if you're doing something in the community, Benny's gonna have your back 100%. Like if he can give you a resource that you need, if you're trying to build a better trading experience, like he'll give you the Excel spreadsheets you'll need to make that work. You know what I mean? He's already like, if you want to design, COGs, reach out. If you want to design some of their graphs for them and assets, reach out. Like he's willing to like work with the community. So that's cool too.
100%, man. All right, guys, that is the wrap up here of COGs, at least COGs at this point. Obviously, they're doing a ton of things going forward. We'll be covering them on NFTLive, but we do have the rest of the industry to get to. I know it's been like a heavy news on COGs, so definitely want to get to the rest here. So we did have that interview with Dapper Labs, guys, and Dapper Labs is obviously the team that's building the Flow blockchain. We'll be covering them as they bring out sales continuously on NBA Top Shot. I know so NBA Top Shot, just a quick update. It looks like their marketplace is migrating and they're moving it from what it exists as now, and there is no marketplace, I think, for Tops right now, Top Shot. They're trying to move that marketplace maybe to some other feature, I don't know, but we were on NBA Top Shot last night. There wasn't a current market, so we're waiting on that. The Dapper Labs episode was good. If you guys want to go into our channel, we had Mickey Maher, who's the head of partnerships over at Dapper. That was a great episode. So nothing really to report on like a product side. Like we're waiting for Dr. Seuss. Obviously UFC is going to be a huge one. They have they're gonna have a ton of IPs come to that Dapper. So can't wait for that. But did you have any thoughts based on Dapper?
Guess what? I just got my email.
What's up?
Sandbox Game Maker Alpha now. Download.
All right, I'm gonna log off here, guys.
Somebody needs to somebody needs to tag Sebastian and let him know that Q is very offended at the moment.
I've been subtweeting him basically
maybe
on my channel.
I offered to send him some COGs.
I think that was.
I did offer.
I've got my COGs up here. If all it takes, Sebastian, I have enough COGs. Whatever it takes to get an alpha into Sandbox, I will send you. I'm gonna keep subtweeting him. No, I'm just joking. But yeah, man, that's awesome.
YouTube, okay, so I'm new to YouTube. Can we clip this? Can I clip this and send it to him?
Yeah, definitely. 100%. I can get you the clip post episode.
I'll send it to him, man. I'll tag him. I got your back.
Appreciate it. Okay, so we're getting the rest of these stories here from Play to Earn. So we've got Neon District migrating to Matic Network. Now, Neon District has been around since the NFT industry has been around. I believe they're like a turn-based role-playing game, some type of situation there. I don't even know if the product is essentially live at this point. I can kind of bring in
in a very basic capacity. Yeah, I jumped in. I think it was kind of, to me it felt like it was a little expensive to not be able to like do anything until I bought something, which was the way it was when I looked, which was at the beginning of June.
Yeah, got it. Yeah, I think it hasn't been built out.
Yeah.
To whatever they're trying to make it, it's definitely not that at this point. They are doing, to your point, like a ton of different giveaways. They're doing like Easter egg hunts and stuff like that. I believe Marguerite is behind this project, or at least in some form or fashion. So we'll keep our eye on it. Obviously, Matic Network has, I think they created an HQ in Decentraland. I think they're doing a ton of things around gaming. So to get Neon District on board to where you can, don't have to deal with these Ethereum fees, that's just a win for them. It's possibly a win. It's definitely a win for Neon District if it's going to keep people from actually interacting with the platform. So so
Marguerite is behind that, and they're doing. You want to talk about somebody who you guys should follow on Twitter? If you don't, like, you should definitely follow Marguerite. I'll pull up my Twitter in a second. I'll drop her link. She's like, she knows what's going down as far as NFTs, and like she tokenized herself.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then she did like one of those, and because I'm still learning. She did one of those things where it's like you can buy shards, right? And then if you own shards of her, you get into her clan in Neon District, right? Which is cool. And then like once you're in the clan, they have like their own staking abilities and stuff. It's like they're doing some cool stuff in Neon District, and I wish I could carve out like 2 hours to just zone in and learn, because it seems like it would be a really cool experience.
Yeah, the whole artwork that surrounds that product is
So
definitely really dope. It has that dystopian feel, that cyberpunk feel. So 100% looking forward to that. I know there's a cyberpunk game being launched. I think it's like 2077 or something like that. That's being launched in like the gaming industry. So
November.
Yeah, in around that. Yeah, exactly.
I might have to take that week off the podcast.
100%. I actually that reminds me, man. So we had a comment earlier. I believe Johnny saying, "What's up, lads?" I want to get to one comment. Somebody was touching on Blankos. They're here for that. So Young Content says, "I'm here for the Blankos take, especially with that Fall Guys hype right now." I didn't even put that together till this comment. Like, if Blankos does a Fall Guys, that's an easy win. You got to start out with that, Blankos. Hopefully they kind of read the room a little bit and launch a Fall Guys-esque game.
Blankos is like a full blown sandbox. So I get 100%. Do not doubt that come launch, there is going to be someone who's got a Fall Guys mode built. 100%. It is truly like a sandbox. So you're going to be able to like go into like an empty world. You'll be able to adjust like the landscape. You'll be able to drop, items. You'll be able to create scripts. You'll be able to. Blankos is going to be a cool experience, and it is going to be the first like really mass adoption test, right? Because they're launching on console. So like, how is that going to work? Are they going to be integrated into your PSN account and your Xbox Live account? Like, are you going to be required to have a separate account when you log in with your PSN? Do you then have to like attach your MetaMask? Like, so it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see like how it all ties into each other with the console end of things.
So they're going to be launching both a PC and a console version, though.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. Ultimately, yes. The beta that's supposed to launch this month. If you guys aren't signed up, sign up. Yep. That is supposed to be PC only. And then by the end of the year, they're hoping to get something like a beta or an alpha or something like that to console as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna drop that in the description, guys, or in the chat. It looks like you can still reserve your account. I think about a month and a half ago, I reserved my account. I was able to get Zach, so you guys are probably still able to get a pretty cool username, a pretty unique username before that launches. I've got the story up here that we were gonna cover with Blankos, and that is that they hired a former product manager from Ubisoft. So that's obviously a huge piece of news from the Blankos team. It looks like his name is Justin Kruger. He says, "I'm excited to share. I've joined a fast-growing startup, Mythical Games. Mythical Games is creating universal economies driven by player ownership, and our upcoming first game, Blankos, is a social sandbox MMO. So where player ownership is at the forefront. So big news from Blankos. I mean, if you can poach some of these guys from AAA studios, more power to you. I know they already kind of are associated because Mythical has that tie to Blizzard, but definitely a big win from the Blankos. So I can't wait for that to come out, man.
It's going to be good. It's going to be a really, really cool experience. They've got some really cool Blankos. If you don't know, like you can get on eBay now and like So they've had like some pre-release and physical cards that actually like
Yep.
are like these plastic, almost see-through. Like they're really cool. And if you can get one of those, then they will unlock like the actual Blankos itself. But they worked with some really cool artists. There's some dope like Blankos out there floating around.
Yeah, definitely the artistry. I don't know if I can pull it up, but Blankos definitely has. Let me see if I can get to the actual site, because there are a ton. Let me see. You know where it might be is on their Twitter. Yeah, their Twitter's gonna be full of these guys. So as you can see, yeah, the artists have all of these different really cool Blankos type characters, and they've created all these designs, man. So definitely interesting to check out. The next piece of story we got is just a quick one. I mean, we've got a trading card game coming out of BBC, so that's a pretty big company, obviously a big comm company. So they're launching Doctor Who is apparently a big television series over there, and they're launching that trading card game over the I believe it says it's on the Ethereum blockchain. So we'll see where that is. Not much information besides that there.
You don't know about Doctor Who?
Not a big Doctor Who guy, I'm gonna be honest.
You said apparently it's a big show. It's a huge show. It's like akin to like Star Trek. Like Doctor Who's massive, and then I wouldn't say just even over there. Like here, like people love Doctor Who. I'm also not like super into it. Like I know like the gist, but that is an IP that I think will do very well. It just like it makes sense. The type of people who like Doctor Who are probably people who are into crypto and the crypto space.
Got it. All right, perfect. So we'll touch on these remaining stories here. We've got, I don't know if you want to touch off with Tom Wilson.
Yeah, so I thought this was really cool. Tom Wilson, and most people heard more about Paris Hilton, but Tom Wilson, who actually is the guy who played Biff in the Back to the Future movies, came out and dropped his first piece of art on SuperRare. I think it was Tuesday. I'd have to look at the tweet real quick, what you got in front of me. So 3 days ago, so Monday. Tuesday, I don't know, whatever. And I thought that was really cool, man. This is a big name, right? He's got like 2.4 million followers or something on Twitter, and he's putting out art. And I thought the art. Did you get a chance to check out the art piece?
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. Actually, it's like a popsicle with wings.
Yeah, and it's and like he does real art. So I've heard on good authority he's got some pieces that are going to be really, really worth checking out. One of which may or may not be a portrait of him as Biff, painted by him. Think about what that's going to do.
Yeah, it looks like there's some bids on here too. There was an initial bid around 1 ETH, and then I guess it's risen to that same person after being outbid, then bidded or put the bid-in price at 2 ETH. So right now the bid's on there. I don't know. Does it actually show like a time frame from how long this actual auction's going on?
I think the authors on, or the artists on SuperRare they're free to run their auctions however they please. So I think the way most of them will come up and they'll make like an announcement. They'll be like, hey, I've gotten, my last bid was 2 ETH and it was 2 days ago. So I'm going to give 24 hours for that bid. And if I don't get another bid in 24 hours, I'm accepting it at this time tomorrow, or
got it.
I'm giving 60 minutes, or something like that. So that's how most of the SuperRare guys do it. But yeah, this is a really cool story. I'm actually going to be interviewing his son, probably I think next week, for a little NFT Insider interview series that I do. And he's actually who got him into it. And his son is Tommy Wilson, who is he plays for the Mets. And he dropped some stuff on SuperRare. He did a nifty drop. Which were like these really dope like baseball gifts, right? So so they talented family, they got a lot of stuff coming out, and I thought this was really cool. And then Paris Hilton, of course.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull Paris's up here. So she's working with a company called CryptoGraph, which I guess does this like multiple times over with many different creators and many different celebrities. So I got Ashton Kutcher pulled up here, but this specific story has to do, I believe, with the art that she sold. So I'm going to pull up the initial story here. She was here saying that she was auctioning off this and she just decided to draw a cat. So this digital collectible cat is actually like, and this art is actually showing up and populating on the screen here. I'll make sure the volume's going. Let's see what the final piece looks like. So the final piece kind of looks like something like that. And then that was sold for 40 ETH. 40 ETH was paid for this piece of artwork. I will find it right here.
Okay. So when you and I talked about this last night, I told you, I was like, oh yeah, I was like, this is really cool. And I said, but what I don't really understand is like the fact that like this company's been around for a while. I've followed them on Twitter for, I mean, at least like 6-7 months, I feel like. And they've had, celebrities come on and do this Matic thing. They bring them an iPad, and they draw something and then they make it into a token. And then they auction it off for a good cause. And so I was curious, like what the big deal was about Paris Hilton that made it like why so many people were talking about it all of a sudden. 40 ETH is a lot of money.
Yeah, definitely. And Paris still somehow has a hold on the American, I guess,
Isn't that
like
crazy?
psyche
Like, has
a
she
little
done
bit.
anything? Like, I don't know. I don't keep up with like that stuff anymore. You're young enough.
I
You
don't
tell me
think
too.
I don't think she has done anything. I'm definitely not a Paris Hilton observer here. So
No.
no, definitely not. Even though I give off that vibe apparently. So we did have a comment come through. Young Content saying, let me see if I can pull this up. He's saying, check out my art on SuperRare. My name is Ill Glory. So I'm trying to look on SuperRare right now. Let me see if I can't search by artist.
Hold on. Young content. Yeah, see if you can pull that up real quick. I wonder if that's who I'm thinking it is.
Yeah, it looks pretty dope actually. So we've got 3 pieces of content
Does he
here.
is his most recent one the Kanye West piece?
I don't see Kanye West in any of these pieces,
Okay.
so I have him on the screen now.
That's not who I'm thinking about.
It looks like 11 artworks have been created by our man Young Content here.
Nice.
Yeah, no Kanye West that I'm seeing of, but these look sick.
I'm waiting for it to like. My stream is so far behind.
Yeah, there's a little bit of delay. It looks like some are actually on hold right now or being sold right now.
Dude, I'm like all about the 3D like models and art and like that shit is cool. Like I'm actually starting to mess with like Oculus Medium myself. Dude, thanks for dropping that, man. I'm gonna have to you gotta put that in our show notes.
Doe Dance 2 of 3 from the Young Content series.
That's dope.
This is sick.
I like it, man.
Yeah,
Keep it up, dude.
Thanks for dropping that information, man. All right,
Yeah,
so that's pretty much the entire episode. The last piece of news that we had come through that I kind of just dropped here at the end of the episode, just because I'm super into esports. If any of you are 100 Thieves fans, I salute you. It's been a tough season for the League of Legends squad, but I know they're doing some other things. But it looks like Chili's and Socios are, and they've been doing this for a little while. They're like involved in esports. They're involved in traditional sports. I know they're like putting out different like trading cards for like FIFA and stuff like that. But it looks like this Spanish esports club. So I don't know how big Team Heretics are, but they're launching a fan token via Chili's and Socios. We've had this conversation multiple times. We understand the importance of social tokens and what they provide. It looks like Chili's is marching this out for an esports team to allow fans to have some kind of say, some type of stake, some tokens, there's a couple like utilities for it here later in the article. Let me see if I could find it, but there's going to be an initial sale, and then those tokens are going to be able to get you access to the team and different type of drops and stuff like that. So interesting stuff. I know that's not really NFT related. It's more like just crypto related, but esports and digital gaming definitely runs up parallel to the NFT industry. So yes, good stuff.
Yep. It does say here that it says further polls will allow fans some say in future Team Heretics decisions, as well as further opportunities for interactive experiences with the team. It says additional features will also be added in the future for token holders. So that's cool. I just think it's the natural progression of like humanity at this point to have true digital ownership. Like we live in a digital world. I think things like voice are going to blow up because of the fact that like that's digital ownership over like your identity. Like so like this is big. And I think eventually you'll get to a point where there'll be TSM token. There'll be a token for anything that has a fan, that has a following, that has a cult, that has a community. And I don't think that it's necessarily a bad thing anymore. I used to think that it was like a really bad thing until like I had a really good conversation with you about it. And I got to understand that it's not like you're necessarily launching these tokens because you expect them to like have real dollar value, but you do want them to have value to the people who are interested in your project. So it makes total sense.
Yeah, 100%. I think that like and I appreciate those words because Lads definitely has some of these aspects where
Yeah.
the community can get involved. Everyone does have kind of a stake in what we're building here. So, you guys kind of participating in every live show is freaking awesome. And I did want to give one more thing away really quick as we go on. I do have a ton and have done well on this sale. So what I want to see is the first person to say "Go Lads." Actually, no, we'll do the Ronin style because there's not 8,000 people in the live chat today. So I don't know
I didn't try to do it on a live pack where nobody had anything to do. Jeez, I gotta send that dude his pack.
Yeah, I need to send. I have a giveaway to get to as well. This is the life of content creators. Anyways, we've got. Whoever says "Go Lads," you're going to be entered in, and I'm going to give away one of these low mints out to the community. So, what is the website that you use for that roulette? Yeah, if you could pass that to me.
Wheel of Numbers.
Wheel of Numbers. All right.
Or no, wheelofnames.com. Wheelofnames.com.
Wheelofnames.com. All right, guys. Wheel of Names is up. I'm going to give.
Go Lads in chat.
Yeah, Go Lads in chat. I will make sure to add you guys. All right, so we've got none of these.
Want me to read them? Kieran.
Okay, Kieran.
Brandon.
If you type twice, you're instantly disassociated with the giveaway.
Young content.
Nah, ill glory.
Ooh, this may not be.
Yeah, we got 3 lads in the chat here. We got 3 lads. This is gonna be a
chat.
Interesting. All right, we'll leave it open for 30 more seconds, man, and then I'll go ahead and click to spin. All right. This has been a good episode, man. We'll see what happens over the next week.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
All right. 10. Get in. You guys are definitely gonna be good on the spin here. God damn. 1/3 chance here.
Yeah, that's not bad.
5%.
Or wait, no, 33.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Boom.
You guys missed out.
It does do the music.
Yeah, the music is cool.
All right.
People seem to like it when you can spin and they can watch it. You know, that moment of like holding your breath. Who was it?
Brandon. It looks like you're winning, Brandon. So, Brandon, we'll work on getting you a card. I'll, look through my stack here and see what I can get you.
Young, go ahead and drop your wallet in there, man. I'll toss you something. Kieran, if you want to drop something in Lads, I'll toss you a cog as well, since you 3 have been here and hanging out with us, man. I really appreciate you guys.
Yeah, 100%, guys. All right, well, that should be a wrap on today's episode. We appreciate you guys showing up, and we will see you guys later.
Have a good one, guys.